Hey folks, this is Mr. Jones. I'm making this video over at the house. Normally I have my Mr. Jones attire, as you can see in my Craigslist pictures, because I plan on posting this particular video on Craigslist. I wanted to talk about engine oil. So, and the intervals too, okay? So engine oil, if you didn't know, there is a chart and it is an API rating chart. You can Google this. So API stands for American Petroleum Institute. Now, there's at least 12 categories of oil. Um, uh, it's SA, SE, SF, SH, SJ, SL. We are all the way up to SM and SN. So, what does this mean to you? Well, if you were to have a car from 1995, I would suggest not using their type of oil today. Reason being is because it's high in zinc. Those cars needed zinc. What is zinc? Zinc allowed the two metal parts in your engine, right? You know, you got the oil going through. The metal parts would actually ride on a sacrificial layer, a thin layer, kind of like hydroplaning, right? It'd ride on this thin layer, and that kept the cars running very well. But if you do that today, you're going to damage your catalytic converter. Your catalytic converter is a filter. It is a catalytic converter, not a Cadillac converter. It removes the catalyst from the exhaust, right? So what it does is it filters out some harmful things and, better for the environment. So keep that in mind. If you were to use today's oil in your older cars, it would not have that sacrificial layer and it's going to break down sooner. Now, it won't be overnight. This will be a slow death, is what I'm going to call it, all right? Vice versa. So keep that in mind as well. Now, this slow death, since it's such a slow death, people don't even notice it, and then no one cares to really follow it or pay attention unless you're very particular, like myself. There is something called an engine oil analysis. Diesel trucks use this heavily, a lot of diesel companies. What they do is they take their engine oil and they send it off to a lab. The lab tells them if there's any abnormalities in the engine oil, like if it's high in a particular metal, that metal is associated with something like your rod bearings or your valves, and it'll tell you that you need to check some things. Also in this analysis, if you had a dirty air filter, it's going to tell you, hey, you need to change your air filter more often because it does affect your oil, okay? So these are things to keep in mind. So pause on that. The engine oil analysis. Now, if you look at the transmission fluids and stuff today, some might say, hey, this is a sealed transmission or whatever, and it is for the life of the vehicle. No, no, no. It breaks down like anything else, and you need to change that. Maybe not as soon, but you really need to change that. Don't go by the manufacturer's recommendation, because what they've done today was they extended these recommendations, right? They extended the intervals between changes, and that is going to harm your vehicle in the long run. And then why do they care about that, or don't care about that, however you want to put it, is so that your vehicle can die right outside the warranty. I have no other way of putting it. That is just how the game is played. So I wanted to do a video so that you got a chance to hear me out and see what you think. By the way, don't think that you can just go to the store and get any of these oils. I try, but they're not in stock. So you'd have to order them online if you wanted to protect the particular API rating for your vehicle. And that's really unfortunate. Now, when I do an oil change, I've got a normal oil change, that gets done, where I'm changing the oil and the oil filter, slapping a sticker on there, and changing the engine oil light. Then we've got another oil change, which is my full service oil change, where I'm doing a throttle body cleaning and I'm changing the air filter within a vehicle, as well as the engine oil and the engine oil filter. Excuse me, I'm the worst at these videos. So, if you were to send your car, if you were to take an oil sample, like you get your engine oil, you put it in a bottle and you send it off to an oil sample analysis place, they can tell if you have not been changing your air filter, right? If so, there are certain particulates that will be in the engine oil, and they're going to let you know, like, hey, you should consider changing your air filter a little sooner. Also, when certain things are breaking down within your engine, they can give you a heads up before it happens, because what they do is they test for various different types of metal, copper and iridium and platinum and this and that. And those are associated with particular parts of your vehicle, whether it be valves, whether it be rod bearings, all sorts of things within an engine, and they will give you recommendations on where to look. Diesel engines highly depend on this. Like big companies, they get engine oil tested, right? They send it off to a lab. They get that stuff tested, and it lets them know. It's like a report card. Lets them know how that engine's doing and some of the things that maybe you can do, if anything, or lets you know if you can if you should be selling that thing soon. I hate to say that, right? But no, that's something kind of important. So if you were to come down my way, I'm who you're going to meet. I don't have my Mr. Jones attire on. We're going to change the logo and stuff like that. So I'll just be wearing normal clothes, working on your car, talking to you. I will talk to you soon. Thank you very much. This is Mr. Jones.